Palantir Technologies is only a few cents away from one of the most important resistance points that could lead to an immense breakout if this resistance is beat. Palantir had an immense rally today and a lot of buying pressure with trading volumes that were near 100 million. We're going to be talking about Palantir Technologies, why this rally is still continuing to push at these high rates, and really surprising, I think, every investor out there. So if you're new to the channel or a returning viewer, thank you so much for watching. Hit that like button and subscribe for daily videos. Of course, I'm not a financial advisor, so take everything I say with a grain of salt and do your own research. I'm just dispatching the data. So if we pull it up on the screen here, looking at Palantir Technologies, you see this immense push, and especially these large green wick candle bars being formed here right at market open in terms of the amount of buying pressure that did come here. We've faced this $19 level of resistance ever since Q3 earnings were reported. And with that Q3 earnings rally that we've seen popping up from the 16s, settling here between the 18s and the 19s, and this consolidation that you've seen right here, the resistance at the 19s was broken today. And after that, you've seen this rally up here to an intra-term day of 1972. Now, if we zoom out on Palantir and talk about what we do have for key catalyst resistance in terms of breakout zones, is the last, and this is the 52-week year-to-date high, is 2024. Now, this was last quarter earnings when they were basically in line, and when they were in line, we saw that immediate 25% correction. This happened right here. But looking at Palantir, we could possibly test those levels next week if this continues to rally. However, on the flip side, we do need to acknowledge the gap that was created before Q3 earnings were reported. We had Palantir right here at the 14s in this immense gap that was created, and we have not seen a pullback yet. Yes, earnings were successful. We've seen this rally. However, the question is, when is the cool down going to occur? When is profit taking going to occur? Is this going to happen at the 20 resistance, or if there is a breakout? So this is why Palantir could likely be very volatile here in the next trading week, and especially before the end of the year, depending on macroeconomic impacts, such as the possibility of future interest rate hikes. We don't know for sure. We did have Jerome Powell saying, hey, we will increase interest rates if inflation pressures are still high. However, it is not a guarantee. So we just don't have that answer yet, and nobody knows where this is going to go. So if you're sitting on the sideline looking at Palantir, there could be a large correction possibly, or a big breakout. This is where speculation and volatility really comes into play. One thing that we do need to analyze, though, is Palantir more in the long term. And for the Palantir bulls that are watching, possibly there could be much more attractive prices here in the near term if a correction were to occur. And considering that we've had an increase in nearly like 10 billion, a little less than that, but nearly 10 billion in terms of market cap over the last few weeks, shows you the valuation behind Palantir. Now, this is following the profitability margins that do keep improving. We saw this especially with future guidance that was improved for 2024, which I think we saw was a key catalyst to this rally, on top of beating earnings on the top and the bottom line. And with those strong quarter three results, what we see with Palantir is an immense amount of buying pressure that is continuing every single day, and the premium right now that people are paying for Palantir. And what I mean by that is the forward price to earnings ratio for Palantir right now is 77.75. And talking about that compared to other types of AI data analytics stocks like Futu, they have a forward price to earnings ratio of 13.23. So really what the question is, what's going on with Palantir, is that it's one of the trendiest stocks right now in the AI industry. And we've even saw this recently with Jim Cramer's statement basically saying that after this dynamite quarter, he previously did not like Palantir. However, not anymore. He's a Palantir bull, and we're not seeing the inverse Cramer theory take an effect here, basically by saying that, hey, whatever Jim Cramer does approve, we see the opposite in terms of market reaction. But what we are seeing is that Palantir, yes, they did beat results. It were earnings, and we see this with 7 cents that were reported compared to the 6 cents that was predicted by Wall Street. And we're seeing right here with the quarterly revenues of 558 million. And what we are seeing are many analytic companies and analytics and bulls in the actual Wall Street atmosphere are improving their price targets and what their fair value targets are for Palantir. Also, what we do have in terms of people that are looking in terms of the bullish perspective is the amount of call options volumes that we see at the $20 strike price compared to the puts that we do have right now for expirations of next Friday. In terms of the call at the $20 strike price, we see volume right here of 42,000, and we see puts here into the 18s and the 19s, all in the 10,000s. But what we see is an immense amount of confidence that Palantir could beat its year-to-date high, and this could lead to a future breakout zone, which is why I think we're seeing a lot of confidence coming into Palantir and people questioning how high will it go before we do see that correction. And to be honest, Palantir is even beating my expectations right now, because I thought we would have saw a correction after these earnings right here, but we're even seeing a breakout that's continuing, which is why when this greed is becoming to all-time highs, this does put a lot of speculation on the table on when will a correction come in the near term. However, that is defying our odds right now, and it could continue. Is this the new normal for Palantir? Nobody knows. The market does do what it wants to do, but there's lots to put onto the table. And with Palantir looking into these high trading volumes that are much higher than the average trading volume that we have seen, I think it's important to focus on where Palantir can go in the future. And with these quarter results and with the fourth GAAP profitability quarter, this brings inclusion into the S&P 500 index. And I think once we get more details about that criteria being met, we know that's been met, but once we get more details about the actual possibility of getting included in the S&P 500, I think is when a new baseline will be set for Palantir. And that's because you have many ETFs and funds that do track the S&P 500 index. And with that, you're going to have a lot more buying volume and consistent buying volume coming into Palantir. And as they continue to separate themselves as a leader in the competitive AI industry, as number one, a profitable company, and number two, proving against this AI bubble that many people have criticized for 2023, 2024 is going to be very important. And I think right now, Palantir is really at these highs, and everybody is continuing to search, learn, and figure out what Palantir can bring to these different clients. So other than that, that's really all I have for you guys. I hope you guys have a great weekend. There's a lot of excitement behind Palantir. We'll be keeping an eye on it. But however, look for that 2024 breakout zone coming into next week. We've seen an immense amount of trading today. Will that continue, or will we start to see a correction? I want to know what you guys think in the discussions. Leave a comment. Let's start it up. I'll catch you guys later, and peace out.